Yeah, Drew Holiday is solidified as probably the best defender in the league.
For
Drew is the
anybody.
best defender in the league as a guard.
Yes.
What's up? Andrew here at Modell's.
1 for 8 is LeBron in the second half. Minute 22 left. Holiday jams it home. Jrue Holiday with a 10-point fourth quarter. You don't see many people do that for the Miami defense.
What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going over the 13 insane but true things about Jrue Holiday, which we're willing to bet you never knew about. Make sure to stay until the end of the video to figure out why exactly he was given the name Jrue. It's actually a pretty funny story. We'll start off with number 13. Jrue Randall Holiday was born on June 12, 1990 in Los Angeles, California. He was raised in the town of Chatsworth. His father Sean and his mother Toya both were college basketball players at Arizona State. It's not surprising that Jrue got his love for basketball from his parents. In 1982, his mother Toya was named Pac-10 Player of the Year. He has 2 brothers and a sister. His older brother Justin and his younger brother Aaron are also NBA players, and both are on the Indiana Pacers, while his younger sister Lauren played college basketball for the UCLA Bruins women's team. He married Lauren Cheney in 2013 and has 1 daughter, Jrue Tyler Holiday, and 1 son, Hendrick Holiday. Moving on to number 12, Jrue is currently listed as a point and shooting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. This 31-year-old stands at a height of 6 feet 3 inches with a decent wingspan of 6 foot 6 inches and a weight of 93 kilograms, which is around 205 pounds. A balanced and fine specimen for a basketball player with extraordinary talent. Next up, it's number 11. What was his reason for choosing basketball as a career? Well, the Grand Toad summoned him and told him his dream. All right, just kidding. He lived in a home filled with basketball enthusiasts. Not only his parents, but his siblings had a passion for this sport, so it would not have been a surprise that he got attracted to the path that led him to the basketball court. He himself loved basketball with all his heart, so there was no stopping his passion and goals. Moving on to number 10, Jrue Holiday went to Campbell Hall School in Studio City, California. In his senior year in high school, he led his team to a 31-5 record and won the California Division IV state title. He averaged 25.9 points, 11.2 rebounds, 6.9 assists, and 4.8 steals per game. His story of success started when he was named the Gatorade National Player of the Year in 2008. In that same year, he played in the McDonald's All-American game and managed to chip in 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals. He was rated the top point guard and 2nd overall prospect in the class of 2008 by Rivals.com. In the 2008-2009 season of his college career at UCLA, Holiday played with Darren Collison in the backcourt for the Bruins. During his time at UCLA, he played with his whole heart and earned plenty of victories for his team. He averaged 8.5 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 1.6 steals in 27.1 minutes a game, playing in 35 games. He also earned Pac-10 All-Freshman Team honors. In just 19 minutes on the court against Florida International, Jrue scored a career-high 20 points on a perfect 8 for 8 shooting. Holiday also chipped in 13 points and 6 assists against the VCU Rams team in the first round of the NCAA tournament. After a successful season, he declared for the NBA draft and left college. He was drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the 2009 draft with the 17th overall pick. After the 76ers, he was traded to the New Orleans Pelicans in 2013, and on November 24, 2020, he was traded over to the Milwaukee Bucks and is still playing for them. Let's move on now to number 9. Jrue Holiday is very active on social media and has almost 500,000 followers. From his social media account, we can see that he is Christian and has a very strong belief in Jesus Christ. He mostly posts about humanity and supports the Black community in whatever way he can. He also posts sweet and cute pictures of his kids and family. We can also see some brand endorsement in his feed, but he spends most of his income helping others. Jrue and his wife founded the JLH Fund in July of 2020 as a step toward combating systemic racism as well as social and economic inequality that continue to prevent Black communities from upward mobility. the JLH Fund is distributing $1 million in unrestricted funding to needy Black community members to help them start their own businesses. He's such an extraordinary person and captures the hearts of people with those good deeds. He also had an appearance in a 2019 film, Uncut Gems. Coming in at number 8, he made his debut by chipping in a season-high 25 points against the Toronto Raptors on April 3, 2010. As a newbie, he was very promising and set a new career high with 29 points against the Cleveland Cavs on November 5, 2010. In the following season, Holiday accomplished his first career triple-double against the New Jersey Nets with 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. He put together a streak of career highs against the Chicago Bulls, Phoenix Suns, and Toronto Raptors year by year. On January 24, 2013, Jrue, 22 years old at the time, achieved another milestone by becoming the youngest player in franchise history to be named as an All-Star, playing in the 2013 NBA All-Star Game. And just 2 days after this, the baller scored a career-high 35 points against the New York Knicks. Moving on to number 7, his basketball journey in New Orleans is the longest one of his career. On July 12, 2013, the Pelicans traded for Jrue in exchange for Nerlens Noel and a draft pick in the 2014 draft. The 2013-14 season didn't work out all that well in the end. Due to some bad luck, Holiday suffered from a stress fracture in his right tibia, and as a result, his season ended prematurely in February of 2014. After an entire year off, he was finally allowed to play, and with his comeback on January 5, 2015, Holiday achieved another milestone of reaching 5,000 career points playing against the Washington Wizards. A month later, he again messed up his lower right leg and, as a result, was ruled out for 3 weeks. But after then missing 41 games, he finally got back into action, coming off the bench against the Phoenix Suns. Despite the injuries, he'd made up his mind not to give up, so he proved himself a baller and scored 38 points against the Charlotte Hornets. But as luck would have it, he was again knocked out for the rest of the season after he was diagnosed with a right anterior orbital wall fracture on March 29, 2016. I think we should call this season for Jrue the Bone Cracker. Now we're on to number 6. Jrue had to take leave to take care of his wife as she got severely ill. After missing the first 12 games for the Pelicans that year, Holiday made his season debut on November 18, 2016. After his comeback, he amazingly managed to pull off 21 points in a 113-101 win over the Portland Trailblazers, mind you, coming off the bench and playing just 23 minutes. On November 9, 2017, in a game against Toronto Raptors, he chipped in a season-high 34 points and 11 assists in a 122-118 loss. On December 10th, Holiday successfully attempted 5 three-pointers in the fourth quarter alone and scored 34 points, helping his team defeat the Philadelphia 76ers. And the next day, he scored a season-high 37 points in a 130-123 loss to the Houston Rockets. Homie tried to do whatever he could for his team and definitely earned respect. On November 7, 2018, in a 107-98 win over the Chicago Bulls, Holiday scored 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. He put his all into the game and achieved his goals one by one. It was January 29th when he made a record in the history of the NBA by becoming the first guard with at least 17 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 blocks in a 121-116 win over the Houston Rockets. Because Jrue plays with all his might and goes all out without thinking about the results, he often injures himself. And at the end of this season, he injured a core muscle and underwent surgery on March 26th. December 28, 2019 was the first time in history that Jrue played a game against his brothers, Justin and Aaron, of the Indiana Pacers. They altogether became the first ever trio of brothers to share an NBA court simultaneously. Next up at number 5, Holiday's power play was always admired by everyone, and this time he captured the eyes of the Milwaukee Bucks. Hence, in November of 2020, he was traded to them in a 4-team trade. The Denver Nuggets and Oklahoma City Thunder were the other parties involved. He made his debut as a Bucks player against the Memphis Grizzlies, where he scored 15 points in 23 minutes and amazed the audience with a game-winning 11-foot jumper. On April 3, 2020, Jrue chipped in a season-high 33 points with 7 rebounds and 11 assists in a win over the Kings. He proved to be a promising player for the Bucks, so he was offered a 4-year contract extension the very next day. Coming in at number 4, in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Holiday helped the Bucks make it to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1974 by beating the Atlanta Hawks. And then, in the finals against the Phoenix Suns, Holiday was awarded his first ever championship. He helped his team win the 2021 NBA championship by dropping 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists in the final game. His current stats include 17.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per 59 games played. Moving on now to number 3. Enough with those boring stats. Now let's talk about the love life of our NBA star. Holiday met Lauren Chaney, who was the United States women's national soccer team midfielder at a UCLA women's basketball game. While he was approaching his seat, a young girl suddenly asked if he was Darren Collison and asked him for his autograph. After clearing the doubt that she mistook him for the wrong guy, he took his seat. Chaney, who was seated behind him, said, "Don't worry, you're cuter than Darren is." One can say that it was love at first sight. They were both in a relationship with other people at that time, but they became friends and started dating after Holiday was drafted by the Sixers. Later, they started hosting annual combo basketball and soccer clinics at UCLA. After some time, they decided to get married, and hence in November 2013, they started their married life together. But then the story took a sad turn. In September of 2016, Lauren was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she was also pregnant at the same time. It was, of course, a really difficult time for the couple, so Holiday took an indefinite leave from the Pelicans to look after his wife. They named their daughter Jrue Tyler Holiday, and just weeks after giving birth to their daughter, Lauren had to go in for brain surgery. Holiday said, "I'm a Christian athlete who has faith in Jesus Christ. So when I encounter circumstances over which I have no control, I believe and I have peace." And with the blessings of God, the surgery was successful. Now she's living a healthy life. The couple had their second child in late 2020, a boy they named Hendrick. Coming in at number 2, most of you guys might be wondering why Holiday's first name is so different. Jrue actually told us about the reason behind his unconventional name himself. He said, "My mom and my mom's sister were on a kick with J names. My cousins' names are Jessica, Jenna, Jade, Jalen, and James. My oldest brother is Justin, and my name is Jrue. My mom liked the name Drew, D-R-U, but wanted to figure out how to keep with the J theme. After me, though, that kinda ended because my sister is Lauren and brother is Aaron." Alright, if you guys have made it this far, we don't even have the words to thank you. You guys are awesome. And now it's time for number 1. On April 4th, 2020, the Milwaukee Bucks offered a 4-year contract extension to Jrue, and both parties agreed on it, and Holiday inked it. Later, Holiday's agency announced that the deal could be worth up to $160 million. The max base salary he earns is $134.9 million, but according to Hoops Hype, a USA Today property, incentives are allowed. This pushes the deal to its maximum. You can almost say that the guy's printing his own money, but rather than wasting that money, our GOAT is spending this money to help others out and to fight against racism. Do you enjoy watching videos about your favorite NBA stars? Then make sure to click on the video that appears on your screen now.